Salve galera, e aí, tudo bem? Como é que vocês estão? Jogando muito? Vem com X-Play Games nesse incrível gameplay de BIOMUTANT. Tamo junto, galera! E não se esqueça de compartilhar, se inscrever e curtir o nosso canal. E essa gameplay é oferecida pela Promoção Xbox, aquele site que você confia e sabe que sempre terá uma promoção especial para você. Promoção Xbox. Entra no link na descrição e compre o seu jogo hoje. Talvez o jogo que você queira está disponível lá já com uma bela promoção. Promoção Xbox. Oferecimento Fox e Toquiri. BIOMUTANT. Rapaz, eu vou deixar a minha opinião aqui sobre o game, mas lembrando que a minha opinião é apenas a minha opinião, não define nada sobre o gosto de outras pessoas. Esse jogo, ele recebeu muitas críticas pelo que eu tenho acompanhado da galera. Ele não tem versão para a nova geração, nem para o Play 5, nem para o Série S ou para o X, tá? Então o BIOMUTANT, ele funciona no seu chibocão ou no seu Play 4 tranquilamente, ok? É um jogo sim, muito bonito, muito bem feito. Eu quero lembrá-los que ele foi construído por uma equipe de 20 pessoas em média. Então, para uma equipe de 20 pessoas, esse jogo tá excelente. Gráficos estão bons. Eu estou jogando num Série S. Então dentro do Série S vocês vão ver dentro da gameplay eu mexendo nas configurações. Essa é a intenção, que vocês vejam como é o funcionamento. Estou jogando a 60 FPS, uma resolução de 1080p em um monitor 1080p, ok? Então para mim o jogo tá muito bonito, muito fluido, tá? Não encontrei nenhum tipo de bug ou algo que me desagradasse. A proposta que o jogo nos oferece, ele cumpre, tá? É um mundo gigantesco, é muito interessante, agradável andar pelo mundo, né? Essas são as partes boas. Uma parte ruim, que não tem uma versão para a nova geração. Mas eu acredito que futuramente eles vão lançar alguma atualização ou algum pack de melhoria. Eu não tenho dúvida. E outro ponto negativo é o preço. Muito caro. Muito caro. Galera, muito caro. Mas Márcio, tá caro pro tipo de jogo. Tá caro. Eu acho assim, ele tá fora do contexto atual, ok? A gente tem jogos no mesmo preço ao nível de Valhalla, ok? Temos aí Resident Village, o BIOMUTANT, ele não se compara a esses jogos, apesar de ser muito bom. Então o preço se comparou. Eu acho que isso realmente é um ponto bem negativo. A empresa deveria pensar um pouco mais. Mas eu acredito que tudo seja preço de lançamento. E com o tempo essas coisas vão mudar. Estamos numa parte aí de seleção de personagens. Confesso que eu perdi muito tempo para escolher um bom personagem. E decidi o caminho da escuridão. Nesse jogo você tem decisões de karma. E essas decisões de karma afetam a estrutura do personagem. E poderes também. Não sei até que ponto isso interfere no fim do jogo. Se tem múltiplos finais, se não tem, eu estou descobrindo ainda. Mas eu confesso, perdi muito tempo para escolher um personagem agradável para jogar. Tem gente que não curte, escolhe qualquer coisa e manda para frente. Só que como é um RPG, eu pensei no meu estilo de jogo. O que eu gostaria? E como vocês podem ver, ele tem resistência, né? Resistência ao calor, resistência ao frio. Por quê? Temos ambiente, temos ecossistemas dentro do mapa que podem ser nocivos ao seu personagem se ele não tiver resistência àquele ambiente. Mas como diz o nome do jogo, BIOMUTANT, as suas escolhas iniciais não serão carregadas até o fim. Com o tempo, haverá mutações e você poderá usufruir dessas mutações para andar todo o mapa do jogo, tenho certeza. Personalização do pelo. Cara, muito interessante, né? Porque tem muita CGI, tem muita imagem do personagem. É um jogo em terceira pessoa, então para mim é interessante sim ter uma pelagem bonita, ver como é que o jogo se comporta, as minhas personalizações, e para mim está sendo muito agradável. Como vocês podem ver aí, tem uma qualidade muito grande de variedades de tipo de pelagem. Eu acredito que vai ter armadura, roupa, capacete, todos esses itens que farão do seu personagem único dentro do jogo. Então é uma experiência muito agradável. Eu gostaria que outros jogos aderirem a esse tipo de conduta. É um personagem só, mas você pode modificá-lo a tal ponto que nenhum outro jogador terá a mesma experiência que a sua, ou o mesmo personagem que o seu. Isso é interessante, eu curto e achei muito bom isso no jogo. Também temos tipos de habilidades, né? Temos o sabotador, o pistoleiro, o soldado, o sentinela. E cada um deles usufrui um tipo de técnica diferente para você montar a sua build e conseguir avançar no jogo conforme o seu estilo de jogo. Ok? E também é uma variedade muito grande. Você terminando o jogo, você pode voltar e tomar decisões diferentes, montar uma build diferente. Então isso é interessante, faz o jogo ter vida longa, na minha opinião. E o jogo começa muito bem aí, um mundo muito bonito, a 60 FPS rodando no Série S, ok? Eu entrei nas configurações aí e dei uma olhada para ver se tinha alguma mudança que eu pudesse fazer, algum tipo de outra, tipo Ray Tracing, ativar alguma outra coisa, mexer na resolução, mas a única possibilidade que me dá é de trocar de 30 FPS a 60 FPS. Quando você põe a 30 FPS e está rodando no Série S, numa TV 4K, ele vai a 1440p. Quando você coloca a 60 FPS, ele volta a 1080p. Mas como eu disse a vocês, eu estou rodando no monitor 1080p, então para mim está excelente. Temos aí adiante a primeira decisão do jogo em relação ao tipo de karma aqui, tá? Caminhos que você vai tomar, da luz ou da escuridão. Eu tomei da escuridão. E a partir de agora, eu vou deixar vocês aí com a gameplay curtindo BIOMUTANT, jogado por mim, Caminho da Escuridão, ok? Não esqueça de deixar seu like, compartilhar e avisar os amigos. Tamo junto, é isso aí. Bora pra gameplay.
The best end is the one you decide yourself.
Right is always right. Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die. strung up. The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Head on. That'll teach him. Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Slice and dice. Things seem simpler now. Looking better than ever. Pull! Pull! Go on! Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right, but no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created locked solid. Someone locked it solid. The sound of spark metal going... It's going to take a bit of puzzling to show. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Cutting edge. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. That's sure to be useful. Now you just need a reason to pull the trigger of this instrument of death. A real power blade. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. How Lupa Lupin somehow left you alive after his raid on the old village. He must have had a purpose with that. There's no doubt you're the child. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight. The impending threat of the World Eaters bringing down the Tree of Life is ever so close. He also worries about the Jagni. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no... Asks if you were tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. You're such a good child, so you probably did. He understands why you came all the way out here. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, an excellent The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get... You found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for every... The Nono's key energy is just what the Pensai needs. Only time will tell. At least his intention is to... You need to... You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to... You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of Nono out there that need to be guided to the roots of the Pensai tree. They're hiding in the glitter grass that mostly grows deep inside damp caves, where they draw mineral from the natural rock. One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall enough. But Today, your focus is getting this one Now that you've seen the Nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, from this day on, he'll make no... One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. No. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's
Adu awa ya ea mpa fabobe muk kofar.
The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters arrived. The genetic evolution that occurred after the apocalypse, the toxinol corpor... His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Noko has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast.
Balu putulua fabu mau mauya.
The road ahead.
Ya, sawata mua. Honto kontue pon yevun goja.
He wants you to understand that you'll all...
Mau mauya tuloya. Voto lola.
His friends have prepared something
Iboda kelmok.
regardless.
Do wawu.
You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never... He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He can't understand why you'd do such a thing. He won't make it out of here on his own.
Good work, clever clogs. Let me guide you into the dark.
Seriously? I always thought better of you than that.
And you were wrong. There's always more dark than light.
There's still time to turn back.
They're already heading down my road.
There's Out-of-Date again. He must have missed something important. Out-of-Date knows you'll make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there's two nearby. The Jagni tribe is likely to be your primary choice as they seek to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out-of-Date. He believes the tribe Sifus, Jagni especially, will listen to you. In Jagni's case, letting the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life is part of their plan. They believe a cleansing is the... He'll be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the... Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's a bridge. Just get over it. They've destroyed this area, muddied up what used to be muck, as if it wasn't bad enough before the tribe war began. That's the Jagni tribe's fort. Their friendship can be a blessing or a curse. It's up to you. You're either a part of their solution to the tribe war or part of the problem. Let's see. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. They don't just let anyone see the Sifu, but there's something different about you.
Zata is the muito tloho. The
Jagni tribe wants to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. They want to vanquish the tribes, as the only way they can guarantee peace is through supremacy. The Sifu is determined to let the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life, as it's part of their strategy to cleanse the world and start anew. He welcomes you to the Jagni fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. The news of a cold-blooded Ronin crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 preceded you. The wall that separates them from the other side, the wasteland you came from. He guesses the time spent there just left a blank space in your memory, as empty and... He understands that sometimes we need to lose ourselves, to find ourselves. But he's... There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. Sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. There were 6 of them, but the unity fell apart after Lupa Lupin attacked the old village. Soon after, they formed new tribes based on their own values, and when the Blight started, the animosity escalated to war. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping. Jagni doesn't want a new unity between the tribes. Their goal is to become... Says fear and hatred is the only path to domination, but you already know that. So embracing that side of you and helping them vanquish the tribes and letting the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life should be an easy decision. He expected you'd join them. You understand that the universe runs on the principle that the one who dominates others runs the show. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can vanquish the other tribes. The one he wants to deal with first is the Myriad tribe. The Myriad are too good to be true. They might believe in the greater good and a code of honor, but uniting the tribes and saving the Tree of Life won't change anything. You must... Their kin must put an end to the war before war puts an end to them. It'll cost bruises and broken bone. But they refuse to be the victim here. They have no intention of letting this drag out, or they'll... You need to claim the rivals' outposts and weaken their tribe enough to challenge the rival Sifu at their fort. You both share dark. Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Once you've conquered the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge... Seeing... Anyway, you'll pass your old village on your way to the first rival outpost, but we've got no time to be sentimental. He can't... Happy to have someone as tough as you ready to help raise everything to the ground. We'll be around when you return. Asks you to check out the wares, confident you'll find everything you need here. Says the place hasn't been doing as much business lately, so there's plenty for you to choose from. Let's strike a deal. Wonders if you would have turned out better if your parents had been there for you. The gatekeeper welcomes you back to the fort. Has plenty to do, so no worries. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurled. Tapped hard.